wait a couple minutes, see if it makes that noise again. I hope not. Hope this was the problem. Now I have to reset everything. The clock's all funky and radio. What's up, my YouTube people? Thanks for coming back to see just what I do today. Out here with the birds for a minute. Hope you're having a great day. There's no evil, icky-ass white crap on the ground at the moment. I'm gonna walk over to the driveway, talk about some stuff. But today is not about the animals. I was supposed to be working on that one since it's halfway decent weather, but of course it has to be windy. But at least there's no evil ass white crap on the ground. Yeah, supposed to be working on that one, but unfortunately my car needs some help at the moment. It's been making some weird noises when I go to start, which I am not a licensed mechanic. I'm just a dumb DIYer trying to figure it out on my own to save a buck. But today I'm going to be replacing the starter because that is what I figure is making the noise. After doing some looking up, and that's the first thing that popped into my head, and normally the first thing that pops into my head is usually it. Now this is not a how-to video, this is a just what I do video. Again, I am not a licensed mechanic, so if you screw up your own vehicle, that's on you, that's not on me. But this is a 2008 Hyundai V6 3.3 liter Hyundai Sonata. You get the point. Now the first thing we're going to do is to remove this chest plate, splash guard, whatever the fudge you want to call it. It just takes a little 10mm socket with a extension. Take off a couple nuts, couple bolts. But a lot of the videos I've watched say you have to remove the intake and the radiator and all this other happy ass crap. No, I am not removing the radiator because to remove the radiator you gotta drain the radiator, and I don't feel like doing that. That's just one more step you gotta do. Why when you can avoid it? But what we are attempting to get to is way down there. Now, if you got small hands like I do, this is perfect. You can do it yourself. But if you got big hands like my dad, then you're gonna need some help. Because unfortunately my dad can't help me because his hands are too big. He can't reach down there. But this is gonna be a combination of from the top and from the bottom. You can see a heck of a lot easier from the bottom, so it's gonna be a combination of the two. Now, besides removing the chest plate, as I like to call it, we're also going to be disconnecting this side of the battery because we don't need any charges or hit something wrong and have it screw some other fuse up, or yeah, we don't need extra crap happening. But what we are attempting to get to is way down there. You can barely even see it at the moment. Let me get the other camera out and maybe we can get a closer shot of what the heck I'm trying to show you. So give me a second, let me grab my other camera. Okay, we're on my other camera now. You see that's my main camera. Now, it's kind of still hard to see, but I'll try to get as close as possible. I got the light shining on it right now, but it's way down there. You see that bolt right there? That is one of the bolts that hold it in place. That's the most I can show you from this side. I'll have to go up underneath and show you the other half so you can see it better. But that is one of the bolts we need to remove. There's another one further down on the other side that needs to be removed on this side, and then there's a couple underneath. Now, could I remove the radiator? and do it a little easier from there, but yeah, you're still going to need to get down underneath to get those bolts down there. Now, if you are having trouble finding your starter, because that's what we're replacing today, take these wires right here. You can see what the heck I'm talking about. There we go. Take your wires that are coming off your battery box and follow them. If you notice, it goes right down to it. Down there. That's one way to find your starter. But, so, that's what we're replacing today. Let me jump to my other camera real quick. It's got better audio. Okay, this is what we're going to be attempting to replace. This, in this box, ooh, it's not light. This is my starter. Now, one of the bolts you saw down there is that top one right there. As you can see, there's another one further down that I got to finagle to get to. But this is what we're replacing. You also have to put the heat guard back on. A lot of people don't tell you that, but there is a heat shield that goes over the top of it that is bolted to it. So when you pull the old one out, you got to put that one back in. And then it's got an electrical connection, a couple of them, and then all that fun stuff. But let me start her up and see if she'll make that weird noise for me. And if it does, then I can exactly show you what the heck sound it is making. I hope this is the problem. I don't know what else it could be because it is in that area that the sound is coming from, because you can't exactly see it from the top. See? You can't see it. It's way down under there. But let me start her up, see if it'll make that sound for me. If it does, I'll show you. If not, we'll move on to the next flipping step, which will be disconnecting the battery, jacking up the car, and then I'll show you it from underneath before I start working. I'm not going to show you everything. I'm going to show you the gist of it. But here we go. Let's replace the starter in my 2008 Hyundai Sonata V6 3.3 liter engine. So let me start it up. So yeah, that is the lovely noise it's been making lately. It only happens once in a while. It's not every time. And you can hear, well, you couldn't hear, but when you stick the key in the ignition, you hear a click, which is the starter solenoid. So one of the two is going bad, which is that other weird thing on the side of the starter motor. Is the starter solenoid was that smaller thing. So yeah, that's the noise it's been making. In case you're wondering what the heck a bad starter sounds like, I think that's what it sounds like. I'm not for sure because I'm not a mechanic. I'm just trying to figure this out on my own to save a buck. But let's stop rambling. I'm going to disconnect the battery, jack up the car so I can get underneath, and of course it has to be flipping windy and cold. Every time I go to work on something, it has to be flipping cold. It's annoying. But at least there's no evil ass icky white crap, which is supposed to be coming tomorrow. Lovely clouds moving in, ruining my sunshine. But anyways, let's get rolling, see if we can get this done, and hopefully this fixes that noisy ass problem. So let me disconnect the battery, jack up the car, we'll go underneath, I'll show you what exactly I'm trying to get to before I start working. I'll get it out. Hopefully I might bring you back while I'm trying to get it out. I'm not sure yet. This is a flipping process and a half. But if not, I'll show you it when I get it out. So here we go. Let's fix this noisy problem. So we're now underneath my car. I got it all jacked up and the battery taken care of. That right there is the starter. That is what I'm attempting to remove and replace. Now what you're looking at is the heat shield. That is attached to the starter. So that little bolt you see off that way, that is to the heat shield. So there's no point in removing that right now. You want to remove that when you get the darn thing out. So I have a couple of bolts down here. I'll have to go up and check on the other one. A couple of bolts to remove down here. And then those big ones over there. As you can see the bottom one now. Right there. I showed you the upper one. Those are the main ones that hold it into place. And then there's the electrical, as you can see over there. I don't know how well you can see, but over there, that is the electrical. You'll have to finagle that off. You may want to take off the heat shield to be able to finagle it off, which is probably what I'll end up doing. But you do need to remove the heat shield. A lot of people don't tell you that, but there is a heat shield, as you can see, and it is in the way, so you'll have to remove it and then put it back on your new one. And then when you go to put it back in, you just do everything in flip and reverse of what you did before. So I'm going to go up, look at the other one, check it out, see how many bolts are actually holding it in place, because as far as I know, it's those two there, and then a couple electrical at the end. But first I'm going to go up and take a peek, see how everything sits, and then I'm going to remove that heat shield, and then go from there. I might bring you back, who knows? I just want to get this flipping done, but that right there is your starter. Again, if you can't find it, follow the cable from your battery. As you can see, the cable is right there. And it goes right to the starter, goes to the other end of the starter, but that's one of the easy ways to find your starter. Yeah, so as you can see, this is next to the exhaust, and the oil pan is right there, so it's not too far from it, and it's next to the alternator, which is off that way. I know it's not the alternator because the alternator's fine. The sound has to be the starter. I don't know what else it would be. So cross your fingers that this is the problem. And yes, that is a gooey oil pan. While I'm down here, I'm going to tighten the bolts around the oil pan, because as you can see, it is gooey all the way around it. So I think either the gasket is shot on my oil pan, or the bolts have worked their way loose from the vibration and the hot, cold, hot, cold, hot, cold. It happens. So yeah, that's awfully gooey. So I'm going to try and attempt to fix that too. But first, that's a after project. First, I'm going to go up, as I said before, check out how many bolts I need to remove off of that, and pull the heat shield and do all the happy house crap. Once I remove the heat shield, maybe I'll bring it back and you can have a better look at what the electrical looks like. So give me a minute, let me figure this out. Bring it back in a bit. Now to remove the heat shield that covers the starter, there is a nut and a bolt down below, and then there is one nut at the top, goes to that electrical component down there on the side that you got to remove to be able to pull off the heat shield, and then you can locate where the electrical is and how it all comes apart. So let me remove that nut. Hopefully the heat shield will come off easily, and then I will show you what it all looks like up underneath. So there is a bolt on this side that you need to get to. Okay, I did remove the air intake housing. It just had 3 little screws on here. They used a Phillips head screwdriver to pull them off, and then it just pulls off, no problem. It's really simple. But you can see a bit better the bolt that you have to try and get to next to the electrical down there. It's get the light to sit still. If you follow that line right there to the end, there's a bolt right there underneath that big one there. You can see the small one right there. I'll try to circle it in editing. That's the other bolt you got to remove to get to the heat shield. Once the heat shield comes off, then we can see the rest and go from there. Well, I just wanted to show you real quick that I did remove the intake housing and the other little tiny bolt that you have to get to. I'll circle it in editing. Hopefully I can remember. Almost. It's taking some finagling, but that's the heat shield. But at least we got enough out of the way to try and see, oh stupid light, our electrical components in there. They're on the back side. You can see a bit of the clip there, right there. That's the electrical component that snaps in, and then there's another little screw-in piece on the other side of that starter cylinder motor. There, with my fat head, you can see it a bit better with the light. But yeah, so that's the heat shield. We finagled it enough out of the way, and the bolts, all the bolts so far are a 10mm socket. Super simple. Just gotta remove that electrical, and then we'll remove the other 2 bolts that are holding it in place, and hopefully we can slide this out somehow. Hopefully. But yeah, that's the starter motor that we're trying to get to. You see where my wrench is right there? Right there? It's taking some finagling, but down there, that is the other bolt that is holding the starter in place. It takes a 14mm socket, deep impact socket, to get to it. Same with the first one, they're super long. So that's the other one, and they're seriously stuck in place because it's factory put in. But that's where the other one is. It's way the heck down there. Had to finagle to get to it, but that's where the other bolt is. So I'm trying to get it out right now. Oh, I finally got that damn thing out. As you can see, this is the old one, this is the new one. Pretty much the same thing, everything looks the same. Just had to be freaking stubborn, and I'm frozen. That damn wind has got me frozen. I'm gonna have to go inside for a minute and warm up. But I did end up sitting right there, taking out the fan, because there just wasn't enough space down below. It kept getting hung up, and there wasn't enough space here. So you don't have to remove the radiator, but you do have to at least remove the fan. Super simple. 2 10mm bolts, and then you disconnect your electrical, and then there's 2 clips right here that you push down, and then it just slides right out. You finagle it out. You don't need to remove the radiator hose. You just pull it straight out. After disconnecting your electrical, set it aside. It came right out, and it's going to go right back into that spot right there. Because here is the electrical to it. This is the little clip, the black clip, and then this screws in at the bottom. The heat shield's down on the ground. I may attach the electrical first and then throw the heat shield back on. Slide it back in, bolt it back into place. My wrench is still stuck right there. So, because I didn't want that bolt to come out all the way, because it's annoying. But I do recommend removing the fan. It does make it slightly easier. You have a bit more room. So, I'm going to go inside for a minute because I'm shivering. Go inside for a minute and warm up a bit, and we will come back out and install this flipping starter. So let me go warm up a minute. So there is the new starter. I finally got it in place. Took a heck of a lot of finagling, and I'm frozen. So sorry if the video is shaky. That wind is cold, but I got that in place, and the heat shield back on. All the electrical put back on. So now, and it bolted down, won't wiggle, won't nothing. Got everything bolted back the same way as it was before. So that's the new starter. So now I gotta put the fan back in real quick, and then the intake, reconnect the battery, put the chest plate back on, and then we can turn it over. I'm going to do that real quick, and then I'll bring you back. Really simple. Take it out the same way you put in. Slide the radiator down to the clips. Snap those in place. Put the 2 bolts back in. Reattach the electrical. Then the intake. Slide it back into right there. Bolts here. Or screws here. And then put the chest plate on with the 6 10mm bolts and nuts, and then connect the battery, and we're done. So I'm going to do that real quick. Be back in a minute if I don't freeze to death first. Well, as you can see, I got it all put back together, and it's on the ground. So now the only thing left to do is to turn it over and to see if I did it right. I'm still frozen. I got black hands, but let's go turn it over anyways. See if I did it all right. Well, here we go. We're gonna do this together. If it starts, then I did it right. If it doesn't start, I screwed something up. So here we go. Yay, it started. I'll wait a couple minutes, see if it makes that noise again. I hope not. Hope this was the problem. Now I have to reset everything. The clock's all funky and radio. Oh, there you go. As you saw, it started, so I must have done something right. We'll have to wait and see if it's going to make that stupid noise again. Hope it doesn't, but if it does, then I guess I'll be fixing something else on the car. Because this was my granddad's car, so try to take care of it. But I think that's going to end this video because I am flipping cold and black. But swapped out the starter. Hopefully this fixes the problem. I don't know. You'll have to wait and see. Leave a comment down below on how you think I did. And if you think this was the problem, I don't know. I don't have a clue. I'm hoping it was the problem, but who knows? Knowing my luck, it's probably not the problem. It's probably something else that I have to take it in to have someone do. And I just did the starter for nothing. But anyways, so that's how to change a starter in a 2008 Honda V6 3.3 liter Hyundai Sonata. So I'm going to stop rambling. I'm frozen. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave a comment down below. And if you think that's what the noise was. If not, let me know if you have any suggestions on what the heck you think that noise was about. I don't know. I have absolutely no clue. I'm not a mechanic. I'm just trying to figure this out on my own and bring you along. So if you think that's what the problem was, leave a comment down below. Or if you don't think that's what that noise that you heard at the beginning was about, let me know. Leave a comment down below on what you think that problem was. I greatly appreciate it if anybody, leave a comment. So hopefully this will work. If not, I guess we're fixing something else. If you know what the noise was, tell me. If you know why it was making that noise. I don't know. Hoping this was it. Knowing my luck, it's not, as I said before. But anyways, I'm rambling. I'm frozen. So that's how to change out a starter. Whack the like button, subscribe, all that fun stuff. And I'll catch you next time on Just What I Do. Thanks for watching. Later, taters.